Cowboys Pregame Live is brought to you by AT&T and by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
For the first time in 28 days, the doors are open at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, where the Dallas Cowboys are 3-0 at home and aiming to knock off the Denver Broncos for the first time in 26 years. Welcome in to Cowboys Pregame Live. We are live from the Star in Frisco in the Globe Life studios as we preview the Cowboys and the Broncos Week 9 of the NFL season. No better way to do it than with former Cowboys, and we've got three of them on the set today. Barry Church, we've got Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton, and we're joined by Britt Johnson, Rob Phillips, Nick Eatman over the course of this show. And gentlemen, this is a game where the Cowboys are heavily favored, but really the biggest news surrounding this game is the return of Dak Prescott. He missed Week 8 with a calf strain. He is back and ready to go. How big of a positive is that for the Cowboys and Cowboys Nation?
I mean, this is a huge positive. I mean, when you're able to get your franchise back, your QB1 back, your leader back in the fold, it's going to be amazing for this team. I mean, this team was hitting on all cylinders versus Minnesota, but Dak just brings that extra pizzazz to it. He brings that extra salt to it. So I can't wait to see what this guy has in store against the Broncos this afternoon. A heavily favored matchup this is, but got to go with Dak Prescott and the boys on this one.
Did you just do the salt, baby?
Just a little salt, baby. Just a little salt, baby.
Anyways, everybody knows how important this guy is to this organization. We saw what it was without him last year, and we hated to see him go out last week. But guess what? We got the victory. But the thing is, when you don't have Dak on the field in 2021, guess what? You're 1-0, but you only scored 20 points. When you have him on the field this year, he scores 34 points a game for you, right? Him and the rest of the team. So that's a 14-point swing when he's not there versus when he is. We know exactly what he is, and we need him on this team. We need him to ball out today against the Denver Broncos.
No doubt.
And at least on paper, it might have looked like Dak Prescott, it gives them an added advantage over a team they already had an advantage on. But Denver is second in the NFL in terms of scoring defense, and Dak Prescott has already shown out this season. Let's take a look at some of the numbers for Dak Prescott this year. 16 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions, making his 7th start of the season. Those are some crazy numbers for QB1.
Yeah, he's extremely efficient, and that's what he's been throughout this whole entire season, efficient. He hasn't turned the ball over at all that much. He's been taking great care of the ball, and him and Kellen Moore, they got this kind of connection right now. He's kind of an extension of the coaching staff while he's on the field. He has the right to switch from runs to pass. I think he's come full circle as far as the quarterback is concerned, and the sky's the limit for this guy.
Yeah, Dak's balling out. He's taking care of business. You know, you mentioned it, Kyle. This is the second best scoring defense in the league. However, they are the third best in terms of points allowed, right? So they don't allow a lot of points as well. So this is going to be a heck of a challenge for Dak and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys offense. I'm sure he's ready to roll against this highly touted defense, especially coming off an injury.
Cooper Rush was able to hold it down without Dak Prescott, but it was really the defense that showed out, including rookie Micah Parsons. He won NFC Defensive Player of the Week, and it's the third time a Cowboy has won a Player of the Week award this year. What has he meant to this defense already?
Look, the sky's the limit for this guy right now. I mean, as a rookie, he's dominating at the linebacker position as well as the defensive end position. And his ability to diagnose plays, I mean, he's doing it at an extremely high level right now, and he's one of the main reasons this Dallas defense has been able to make such a jump from 2020 to 2021. Let's hope his stellar play continues versus the Broncos this afternoon.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want out of your first-round pick. He's an explosive player. He's a very cerebral player as well. Every time you hear him in an interview, he's thirsting for more information. He's thirsting for knowledge. He wants to be out there. He wants to get reps. A lot of people like seeing him at defensive end, which he can play. He's only playing about 30, 35 snaps a game when he's at defensive end. At the linebacker position, he's playing over 60 snaps a game, and he's impacting it every single play. He's a guy that you have to circle. You have to identify him whenever you step up to the line, and he's an impact player for this defense.
He played at the linebacker level, at that second level last week. This is his season stats. Those 2.5 sacks, most of those coming as an edge rusher, but he'll play a little bit of both, says Dan Quinn. They like to keep his role a little bit under wraps as the week goes along, and there's still plenty to come here on Cowboys Pregame Live as well. We've got nothing under wraps. We are laying it all out on the table, including who's starting at left tackle. Is it Terrence Steele? Is it Lyle Collins? We'll tell you next.
This is a pretty important season for you going forward with the contract. Do you think about your future?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I don't, but I don't don't think too much into it. Like I said, I think I do better when I live in the present, and in the past it's been hard for me to do that, and so it's really crucial for me to do that right now so that I can get the goals that I want. Obviously, that being a contract, and that day will come. Right now I'm just focused on trying to win games and improve my play on the field and be the best, locker room guy I can be around everyone. So stay on that, week to week.
As you weigh things out, how much the fact that Jerry and the Cowboys stood by you through all of that impact what may or may not happen come March?
I don't know. I mean, look, at the end of the day, the whole Jones family, they understand what they mean to me and what they've done for me. That would be taken into consideration with just about anything involving them. Like I said, the contract stuff, that's so far ahead in the future. And I've never been in a position to deal with that kind of thing. So, I'll leave that to my agent and the front office. But, right now I'm just focused on playing.
This segment is brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Through the 3 home games this season, the Dallas Cowboys have outscored opponents 121-69. Well, they're back at AT&T Stadium today to take on the Denver Broncos. And let's head out to Arlington and hear from our very own Rob Phillips. Rob, first off, you got an opportunity to meet a childhood hero of yours. You got a chance to interview The Undertaker prior to kickoff. What was that like?
Kyle, dreams do come true, man. They really do. And you know what? It was funny is he's such a Cowboys fan. He said that there's a special feeling going around this team, and you kind of don't want to talk about it. It's kind of like his WrestleMania streak back in the day, 21 straight wins. Cowboys going for 7 wins in a row today.
That's outstanding, and you can catch that entire interview with Rob and The Undertaker on DallasCowboys.com. Lots of salute to service going on, and also WWE going on as well. We'll talk about that throughout the show, but everybody watching definitely wants to hear about how Dak Prescott looked from field level. Is there any update on him, and how did he look to you?
Kyle, he came out to the field about 9:50 for his normal warm-up and looked good to me. No limitations, and that's kind of what we saw and heard about during the week. Looks like he's ready to go. He told us on Thursday that, I'm about close to 100%. They wouldn't put him out there if that wasn't the case. So I think they feel good about it. The fact that Will Greer is inactive and only Cooper Rush is the backup who's active today, I think is a really good sign for how Dak feels. And I don't expect any limitations. He said, he's going to focus pregame on making sure that calf is feeling good. He's not going to lose sight of that. But they're sure happy to have him back in the lineup today.
Yeah, everything looking up in terms of Dak Prescott and that offense. But who's protecting the left side? Who do you expect to start at left tackle? Will it be Terrence Steele or Lyle Collins in the absence of Tyron Smith?
Well, Dak kind of broke the news on Thursday. It said it's expected to be Terrence Steele at left tackle for Tyron Smith, who's inactive today. And Tyron was actually on the field early working with Lyle Collins, his close friend and longtime teammate. Lyle expected to be on that right side. So, I think they feel good about Terrence Steele on that left side. I know he's only a second-year player, and he's played that right side, but remember the reps that he took in training camp. That's important to Mike McCarthy. He spent mostly on the right side, but also left. And so you talk to guys within the organization, they really feel good about how professional he is, the way he's approached his job, gotten better, stronger in the offseason, and that's one reason why they feel like he can handle this left side today.
The great Rob Phillips joining us live from AT&T Stadium. Rob, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
So as Rob Phillips said there, Terrence Steele is expected to start at left tackle. We're now joined by Nate Newton. And Nate, overall, that's probably the biggest concern is who is protecting the backside of Dak Prescott. Who do you expect to be there, and who would you put there?
I would put Steele at this time because, you know, he worked at their training camp. Everybody's been telling you, he worked there at training camp. Those training camp reps were so important because now you got this understanding where Lyle is coming back. He's your right tackle. And this kid is your swing tackle. He is the right guy for this. I trust in the coaching staff.
And Rob Phillips talked about it a moment ago, outlining a couple of the names. But here's the rest of the inactive list for today against the Denver Broncos. There's just a couple of names on that list. First off, quarterback Will Grier, which is a fantastic look for the Cowboys in getting Dak Prescott back and healthy. Israel Mukuamu, who has been on the inactive list a couple different times this season, Simi Fehoko, and then the big one, Tyron Smith there at the bottom. How big of a loss is Tyron Smith, and can Terrence Steele fill that void?
Tyron has been very impressive this year, man. He's a top 3 tackle, man. He's been playing well, but I think this kid still will be able to do things. I think with the coaching staff, they'll be able to help Steele at the left tackle a little bit, you know, and get some players over there in certain situations. I think they're going to do a great job. But Tyron, to answer your question, is sweet, man.
How easy of a switch is it for Terrence Steele? Still just a very young player, second-year guy out of Texas Tech, to make the switch from right tackle and then a week later be playing on the opposite side?
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And for him to be mature enough and have the confidence of the coaching staff, that's sweet, man.
So what does that fundamentally look like from an offensive lineman standpoint?
You have to switch everything over in your brain. You have to really, you know, it's easy to say but hard to do. You have to go from looking at everything from a right-handed stance to a left-handed stance. You have to be locked in. You have to be focused because you have a better athlete at that left tackle.
What about La'el Collins and his return to the right tackle spot? Do you feel like this is a long-term deal for him?
I hope so. I mean, La'el is the better player there. He's an all-pro player there. He's got he brings a certain toughness, Kyle. He's mean. He's physical, and he sets the tempo a lot of times when he's in there.
What do you think about the decision for Mike McCarthy and having to switch around a couple different pieces here, back and forth on the offensive line? That's not necessarily something he's done in the past.
Nah, but you know what? It's continuity. These guys worked all week. Unfortunate that Tyron was out, but it gave us a chance to let these guys work all week at their respective positions. I like how you fixed up my tie and everything while I was in the break.
Got to do it with the B-roll over the top. You're always looking flashy over there on the corner. Isaiah and Barry, they also look fantastic as well, but how are they going to outline how Denver will attack this Cowboys team and try and halt the momentum?
This segment was brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Tyron's always giving me little nuggets here and there and just always critiquing me and making sure I'm in the best possible position. There was one today, something with the technique-wise, he just gave me a little tidbit to help me out, and it did, so, yeah.
It's like, is your head spinning a little bit? Because last year, you told you La'el Collins and Tyron Smith.
Yeah.
You, and this year the same thing, and now it's you, and now you're still, is your head spinning a little bit?
Yeah, no, I just keep a neutral mindset. I don't really try to think too much about it or, you know, just neutral. It is what it is. Just play the cards I was dealt, so.
Playing offensive tackle, what's your reaction Monday when you find out Von Miller is not going to be part of this game?
I don't know. I wanted to go against him. That's just Von Miller is a legend. So, but he had to do what he had to do. He's with a great team now, and I'm sure he'll have a lot of success over there.
Back here on Cowboys pregame live from the Star in Frisco alongside Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans, where the Cowboys prepare to take on the Denver Broncos. The Broncos coming in at 4-1, the Cowboys at 4-4 rather. The Cowboys at 6-1. They've won 6 straight games, and they'll look to continue that momentum against the Denver team that started 3-0 this season. But since then, they haven't necessarily had the same kind of impact. Teddy Bridgewater, 5 interceptions in his last 4 games. What do you expect to see from him in that passing game to challenge this Dallas defense?
Well, if I'm honest, I don't think it's going to be that huge of a challenge going against this passing attack. I think Teddy Bridgewater, he has options out there. He has weapons on the outside. But I think our D-line, led by Randy Gregory, I think they're going to make things tough for Bridgewater out there. I think he's going to be running around in that pocket just trying to survive. And I don't know if he's going to be able to get the ball to his weapons the way he wants to. And hopefully that'll lead to a couple takeaways for this Dallas defense.
Yeah, these guys are not playing very well offensively. Teddy Bridgewater, even though he has a 70% completion rate, he has 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Kyle just mentioned those 5 interceptions. Most of them have come over the last 4 games. He's not making great decisions at that position. They have 2 good receivers in Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. Both of those guys are good receivers. They have potential. After Jeudy's just coming off an injury, but collectively they only have 2 touchdowns. So we should be able to handle these guys pretty well.
You mentioned Sutton and Jeudy, and I want to go right back to you here because what do they do well from the receiver position that could really test this secondary from a fundamental standpoint?
Yeah, with Jeudy coming off this ankle injury, right, off this ankle sprain, he's their shifty guy. He's their guy who wants to obviously push the things to the sticks. Get the ball with short yardage positions, be able to convert it, get some yak yardage. And then they have Sutton, which is their deep threat. That's their bigger receiver, 6'3", 200-something pounds. He's a guy that wants to take the top off of it and really post you up on the outside. But collectively, they're missing Fant on the inside. That's their tight end. That hurts them tremendously today within the hashes. So I don't really foresee this being a challenge for us defensively.
Yeah, you named it. Jerry Jeudy, he's one of the better route runners in the National Football League. And then you got Sutton on the other side, who's a bigger receiver, more physical, definitely the type of possession receiver. He has great leaping ability as well. So they possess a little bit of problems out there, but I think it's just going to be hard for Bridgewater and this offense to get them the ball with Randy Gregory and them breathing down their throats.
Isaiah, you mentioned tight end Noah Fant, added to the COVID-19 reserve list earlier in the week. He is unavailable for today, but they can also get it done on the ground. One of 2 teams in the NFL with a duo like this that has over 350 yards rushing and 100 yards receiving. The only other team, along with Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, to do it, the Cowboys with Zeke and Pollard. What do you expect to see on the ground from the Broncos?
If I'm going to be honest, once again, I'm not seeing too much from this Broncos rushing attack. I don't think this is the Melvin Gordon of old. I don't think he's as dynamic of a player as he once was. And then you combine that with this revamped Dallas run defense. I just don't see how Williams and Gordon can have that big of an impact coming into today's game.
Yeah, I agree with you, BC. You got 8 games that have already occurred, 750 yards between the 2 of them, and obviously just only 4 touchdowns. I'm not really threatened by these guys regardless of their names that are attached to them. They're not what they were in the past, and they got to show us today exactly who they are today.
Do you feel like the ground game or the passing game is going to challenge this Cowboys defense more?
I think, if anything, obviously our running game, obviously we always have to be sure up front with our front 7. I think they're continuing to try to improve themselves in that regard coming off of last year. These receivers should not present a problem for our secondary.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think if they're going to find some type of chink in our armor, it's going to be that run game up the front. But I still believe in this D-line, and I think they're going to be able to shut this team out.
So overall, it sounds like you feel like this run defense is real, right?
Yes.
That's right. Okay, so that's a huge improvement upon the 2020 season as we're already here in Week 9. Also, just for note, 30th in the NFL scoring points per game are the Denver Broncos since Week 4. They've only averaged 16 points per contest. So have to get off the ground. They're going to have to do it against Micah Parsons. The rookie sits down with our very own Britt Johnson when we return.
You've talked about how the chemistry on this team is special. What do you think, other than winning, what do you think is different this year than the past few years you've been together?
Like I said, the chemistry, like you said it, guys are, we joke with each other all the time. Like me and JK was just joking with each other on the field. Different position groups are close to each other. That's how you have like good chemistry on the team. Typically the guys in the same position group are close to each other. Other than that, it's really the guys who probably came in the same draft class or something like that. But you got guys who haven't known each other for a full year and are really like close to each other. So.
Is there something you can point to that caused that or led to it?
Not that I can identify off the bat. Just I don't know. I guess vibes. The vibes were there, I guess.
In Week 8 against Minnesota, Micah Parsons became the first rookie in league history to combine for 11 tackles, and 4 of those being for loss. Welcome back in here to Pregame Live alongside Britt Johnson. I'm Kyle Yeomans, and Britt, you got an opportunity to catch up with the star-studded rookie Micah Parsons.
Yes, NFC Defensive Player of the Week, Micah Parsons, who is a Renaissance man definitely on the field and also has the nicknames to match. I actually got a chance to find out which one is his favorite nickname. Check it out. You got some nicknames already. You have Young Bull, you have Young Lion, you have Terminator, Sachi. Which one of those is your favorite? Because we need to like hone in on one nickname.
See, you missing one key one that I grew up with. I got the Water Boy.
The Water Boy?
Yeah, the Water Boy.
Okay,
Bobby
how did you
Boucher.
get that one? Because you definitely ain't doing no water boying on this Cowboys team.
So the Water Boy, the movie, the one with starred Adam Sandler.
Uh-huh.
So as a kid, I was playing linebacker, just running around hitting people, and it was like, oh, that's the Water Boy right there. So they kind of got that Bobby Boucher nickname.
Yeah.
They convinced me to get a Water Boy chain just recently. So I'm about to get a Water Boy chain.
Okay, so you have the Sachi chain and now you're getting a Water Boy chain.
Yes.
So is that going to be the go-to one? Like, we got to pick one.
Yeah, it's going to be a game day
favorite?
Water Boy. Game day Water Boy.
Okay. So I guess that's the one we're settling on. Okay, that's a new one for me. Okay, all right, next one. So this season you've actually been wearing the green dot on your helmet, which kind of indicates you're the play caller for the defense. This last week you did not have it on your helmet, but you actually had your best game so far, in my opinion. Do you think that not being like in charge of just letting everybody know the plays kind of just lets you kind of focus more on what you just personally have to do and reason why you had a great game?
Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? Especially when there's tempo and there's, you got to make sure you get it to the DBs, you got to make sure you get it to the line, and you got to get yourself and think about your job. So, I mean, they just took a little bit off my plate, and I was able to play a little bit faster. And I think as time goes on, I can probably get it back, but for right now, I'm just focused on what I do best, and that's just playing ball.
Well, you had a great game. Congrats on that. You also said in your interview with Michael Irvin that he asked about the keys to the defense, and you kind of said y'all are just a bunch of go-getters. Is that something you're kind of born with, or is it something that you can kind of create and build, and have you guys done that on this team?
I say a little bit of both. Like, I think about it's like what you go through when you're younger. My mom and dad gave me 2 options. They said, you're either gonna stay in Harrisburg or you're gonna go get a scholarship because we can't afford to pay for school. So I was like, I gotta go get it on my own. So I played everything in the world, man. I played volleyball, basketball, wrestling. I did
played
football.
volleyball?
Yes.
You're literally like the jack of all trades. You Renaissance man over here. That could be another nickname, Renaissance man.
I might have to add that to my arsenal. But literally, like, I was just like, man, I gotta be good. Baseball, I gotta be anything with a ball. And I was like, I can figure it out.
Do you think you joining the team, because the defense obviously was totally different defense than what we see this year. Obviously, we had changes in coaches and stuff like that. Do you think that your energy that you brought to the locker room plus what the guys already had kind of just amped it up to another level?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. I kind of got that free spirit, young lion mentality and playfulness and joy I bring to the guys. Like they always say, you're always playing around. But, you know, I just kind of add that joy, and then you got to make sure with the vet guys and make sure we get serious when we need to get serious and focus on what we need to get done. So I think it's a great mixture of the guys we brought into the program this year.
I'm starting to lose track of all of the nicknames for Micah Parsons, the Lion, the Renaissance Man, the Game Day Water Boy. There's so many different names coming from Micah Parsons, but he's trying to add another one to his arsenal. How about Rookie of the Year on the defensive side of the football? He's on his way at the moment. The Cowboys also on their way to taking on the Denver Broncos. Dak Prescott is back. Plenty more to come about him. When we come back, we'll tell you what you can find on the internet side of things right here on Cowboys Pregame Live.
I mean, I think before that win, we felt like we had something special going on, but it definitely adds to our confidence, and I mean, we just got to do a good job of just handling success and making sure we're doing everything week in and week out to make sure we're ready to go play and put our best football out there on Sunday.
Zeke, the last time you guys played the Broncos, it was a low point in the era of you and Dak in Denver. What do you remember about that game, and is that how you remember it?
I mean, it was a tough game. Yeah, it was tough. I think we had a rain or a lightning delay in the middle of it. It was tough to get going. We lost. I remember that.
There was some public backlash about one of the interception that got returned that you didn't try to. There was an image of you not going after the guy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that backlash? And
yeah.
Do you remember how you reacted to that?
I mean, I didn't put my best effort forward on that play. Didn't make too big of a deal out of it. I know myself as a player. I know, that I am a high effort player, and I think at that moment, I can't really remember exactly what was going on, but I mean, I didn't put that on film, and so I mean, it was an easy fix. Just don't do that ever again. So I didn't.
Cowboys Pregame Live was brought to you by AT&T, SWBC Mortgage. Join the more than 120,000 customers that we've helped to find their happier way home. Visit swbcmortgage.com to find a pro today. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
It's the 14th all-time meeting between the Dallas Cowboys and the Denver Broncos. Two storied programs meeting again at AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys looking to knock off the Broncos for the first time since 1995. And in order to do that, they would have to really take advantage of the number 2 scoring defense in the NFL. We're wrapping things up here on the TV side of things, but if you're not done yet with your Cowboys pregame coverage, why don't you flip on over to DallasCowboys.com. Join us for about another 15 minutes or so. We've got it. Is this a trap game for Dallas? Are the Cowboys saluting the service? And how are they saluting the service at AT&T Stadium? We've got so much more on the docket. But for Barry, for Isaiah, for Nate, for Rob Phillips, and for Britt Johnson, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Enjoy the game, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Pregame Live.
I mean, I want to play in the game. I want to play in every game. It's a blessing to do this, and every opportunity that we get to go out there, you don't get many of them. You want to take advantage of it. But in the same sense, I got over it quick. I knew the perspective, and I knew where we're coming from, and this is a long journey, and we're a team that we can play for a long time. We can play into that last game, and so I had to think that in mind when the decision was made.
No way they will keep you out 2 straight weeks there. No way they will keep you out 2 weeks.
No. They got their 2 weeks with the bye, so we'll give them that. I mean, pretty close, to be honest. Pretty close. I mean, I won't stop doing all the things necessary to make sure that I stay on top of it. And not only that, just my ankle, just my whole body, whether it's the shoulder, I don't want to say older because I'm only 6 years into this but as I get more experience, I spend more time taking care of my body. So just being very purposeful in that, and I feel good. I mean, out there, I'm not thinking about the leg. I'm not thinking about anything. Just going through the game plan and preparing myself. So
last week, were you still thinking about it, assessing the risk that would be involved before?
I mean, when the decision was made, yeah, I mean, I thought about the risk of obviously going out there and hurting it again, and that gave me, as I said, that sense of perspective to hold back and to know that I do play this game without thinking about anything other than whatever it takes. So, I mean, first play yesterday, I get ready to scramble and take about 5 or 6 steps and throw on the run, and I thought about it, I'm like, I probably shouldn't have done that on my first rep, but that was easy for me to just say, okay, well, that's why I didn't play last week, is because I don't think about that, and I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to think about whatever it takes to win the game. So, yeah, just moving forward from it now.
Welcome back to the internet side of things with Cowboys Pregame Live. Back here from the Globe Life studios at the Star. Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton. We've still got plenty more to come as we lead into kickoff between the Cowboys and the Denver Broncos. And along with preparing for the Broncos, Cowboys getting ready on the field, they're also taking today as an opportunity to celebrate America's heroes. Along with the NFL Salute to Service initiative and with the National Medal of Honor Museum, there is plenty of festivities around today's game surrounding the armed forces of our military, which, along with the NFL and the Dallas Cowboys, we salute you as well. Thank you for your service, and there's plenty more of that to come throughout the month of November. But let's go back out to AT&T Stadium, where Nick Eatman is now joined by a very special guest.
Thank you, Kyle. And here on the sidelines of the Cowboys games, you never know who you're going to get a chance to talk to. And today, in this game, obviously the Cowboys Salute to Service game against the Broncos, we get the privilege of talking to CQ Brown. He is a 4-star general of the Air Force, wears many hats, one of them being a big Cowboys fan. We're going to talk about that, but just how excited are you to be here today?
Well, it's a real honor, having grown up a long time as a Cowboys fan and be here at AT&T Stadium, having taken a tour in June, not knowing I'd be here today for this game. I'm so excited to be here.
Talk a little bit about the importance of, obviously this is a big game for the Cowboys as far as the Salute to Service. How important is it for the NFL and the Cowboys and all teams to recognize that and make it a game like this?
Well, I think, as you tie it very close to Veterans Day, it's an opportunity to, as you said, salute to service, salute to our veterans that have served in the past and are continuing to serve. But it also is an opportunity for so many to see and engage with our military members and tell them thanks for what they do, them and their families for what they do to support our nation.
Here today, the Cowboys are going to wear a different looking helmet. They've won it in 1976, but obviously the red, white, and blue stripe. What is that going to look like, especially from your standpoint of being a big-time Cowboy fan, but then getting a chance to see them make that honor as well?
Well, it's actually kind of it's reminiscent because as a Cowboys fan, I do remember the red, white, and blue stripe from many years ago when I was much smaller. Yeah. But it's a way to show that not only for the Cowboys, but really across the NFL, their support for our military members and their families.
Can you speak to the correlation of how sports, can transcend to anything in life, especially in the military, and how the correlation of leadership and teamwork and unity together, you see it on the football field, you see it in your line of work as well?
Right. And it's really about teamwork. And this is one of the things that you want to value everybody that's on your team. And that's not only for the Cowboys, all our NFL teams, but particularly in the military when you have life's at stake and you're trying to work together. And it's really, you want to value all the various contributions from everybody as part of the team. And that's part of what, not only for the Air Force, but I would also say for the Cowboys. And ideally, I'd like to see that happen today for the Cowboys as well.
So, like we said, you're a 4-star general of the Air Force. But when it comes to football teams, though, you make no mistake. The Cowboys,
Cowboys fan.
Cowboys is your team.
Yeah.
Where did that kind of start? And maybe tell us some of your favorite memories of the Cowboys throughout the years.
Well, it just, my dad is a Cowboys fan, so he's been following the Cowboys since they became a franchise. We're from San Antonio originally. But, the years that I really remember is back in the 70s with the series of Super Bowls. Sure. Drew Pearson was and still is my favorite player.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I wore his number in high school. I played wide receiver. Not a good wide receiver, not as good as he was, but just the aspect of just watching the Cowboys over the years, and I'm really hopeful about this year. I think this year's the year, having watched them a number of years.
So, we make a big deal about wearing number 88. A lot of the different guys have worn it. So we're saying we need to put you in there as well. CQ Brown, wear 88. I mean, we always just talk about Drew Pearson and now CeeDee Lamb and Michael Irvin, Des Bryant, but you sported 88 as well.
Well, it would be one of those trick plays you see where, you come off the bench and then you throw me in there. But, it'd be an honor to do that. Yeah. Probably don't have the talent to do it or the speed that I didn't have much speed when I was in high school either. So, but just to be associated here today with the Cowboys, and to me, it's just a distinct honor.
What do you like about this team this year? What you get a chance to see them, and obviously there's something special brewing here. What from afar, what have you seen from this team that you like?
Well, I just looking at the talent and the fact that Dak's healthy. Watching Cooper Rush last week and what he's able to do as a backup quarterback, and it's like the Cowboys didn't miss a beat. And that's the thing. And when you think about a team, whether it's the Dallas Cowboys or the United States Air Force or military, you don't want to miss a beat. And we know we've got great people, whether it's on the depth chart of the Cowboys or within our Air Force, that no matter what happens, we can step up and still deliver. And that's what I see about the Cowboys, and I hope that's the way it plays out today as well.
We're hoping that as well, and we really appreciate you stopping by and joining us here today.
No, it's my pleasure.
Right.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. All right, that's 4-star General C.Q. Brown of the Air Force. Kyle, we'll throw it back to you.
Thank you very much, Nick. The Cowboys wearing a red stripe on their helmets today in honor of our military and also the National Medal of Honor Museum and that initiative there from the Jones family. It's the first time Cowboys have actually switched up the helmets since 1976 when they had that red stripe accompanying the normal stripes on the helmet. But they're going to have to go up against this Denver defense that at the moment number 2 in the NFL in terms of points per game allowed. Guys, what is the strength of this Denver defense and how can a Dallas offense attack it?
Well, first of all, I think we need to attack the middle. I think we need to attack the gut. I think it should be a heavy feed Zeke, feed Tony Pollard type game because we know the strength of this defense is the secondary. And the way to attack that secondary, we got to have a ground game going, make them bring that safety down into the box, and then we attack them over the top with Cooper or Lamb. But overall, I see this Dallas team having a dominating performance on the ground.
Ditto. They have Surtain, their first round pick, and they also have Fuller out there at the cornerback position. They have a great safety as well. These guys are strong in the secondary. That's the reason why they're second in scoring defense and third in points allowed. These guys can play in the secondary. So to Barry's point, we need to go ahead and initiate a ground game, take care of this front seven, and then when those safeties decide to get a little bit nosy, that's when we take advantage of things over the top.
Now I've got some great news for Cowboys fans. If you look at the stats for this Denver defense, no fear, Dak Prescott is here. He's 3-0 against top 5 defenses going into the week. 37 points per game for the Cowboys against those such defenses. Denver does have fantastic stats. You look at the top 10 in both total yards allowed, sacks. They're not necessarily there in terms of the takeaways, but you've already seen defenses can win without takeaways. So I asked you guys, can this Denver team sneak up on the Cowboys even though Dallas is a heavy favorite?
I don't see this as a trap game for the Cowboys. I feel like McCarthy has done a great job of turning this locker room into a winning type culture over there. So I don't see them allowing Denver, an overmatched Denver team, to come in here and steal a victory. I got to go with the Cowboys on this one in a dominating fashion.
Yeah, Halloween's over, so no more trick-or-treating. But to that point, though, if you don't take a team seriously, if you don't show up as a professional, any team in the NFL could beat you. So even though these guys are kind of falling off in terms of what their abilities are, even though these guys haven't played a team of our stature, you still have to show up, do your job, execute, and ultimately win the ball game.
Denver 4-0 against teams under 500. Cowboys definitely not under 500 at 6-1. Denver's 0-4 against teams above the even mark in terms of their record. So you guys have given your keys. Let's hear from Nate Newton, who's joined now by Britt Johnson. Britt, I mean, this is a Nate Newton who can really tell you how the Cowboys can win this game.
Thanks so much, Kyle. Britt Johnson here with Nate Newton. Now, Nate, do you smell some?
Yes, I do. What is it?
It smells like success. The Dallas Cowboys are currently 6-1 for the first time since 2016. Now, last time they did that, they went on to have a 13-3 record. Lost in the divisional round, though, to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. We don't want that to happen this time. We want to go all the way to the Super Bowl. So I know we need to keep our momentum up. I know you're the man to figure out how to do this for this Dallas Cowboys team. So let's check out what we like to call Newton's Laws. What you got for our first one?
The first one, you have to remember your goals. When they went into training camp, things weren't looking good. We didn't know who our defensive coordinator was and what he was going to do with his team. But guys have to go back. Remember that feeling when nobody believed in you. Now you got things rolling. Keep looking at film, keep working out hard, keep doing those extra things.
And speaking of rolling, the Cowboys have had a lot of accolades personally this season. They're actually second in the NFL for personal awards. We had You know, Micah got NFC Defensive Player of the Week. We've had Trayvon win some awards. Dak and Zeke win awards as well. So we are second in that, but that's not where we're going to stop. We got to keep going. So what you got for number 2 here?
You got to be accountable. I mean, as you gain these awards, these individual awards, you got to remember the team.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep looking at one another saying, hey, this is what Dak need to do. This is how Dak is going to make the team better. This is how Michael Parsons, this is how each guy is going to do his job within the team concept to stay accountable to one another.
Now, no one person can win a Super Bowl, so
That's
you
right.
need this whole team to get together. And number 3, defy your eyes. What do you mean by that, Nate?
You really have to look at the film and not believe what you see in this case. The next 2 weeks, they got the Denver Broncos and they got the Atlanta Falcons. I know they're going one game at a time, but what you have to do is not believe what you're seeing because these teams are not good. You are better physically, mentally, and any other way that you want to put it better than these teams. But what you have to do is keep going, find that Michael Jordan feeling, you know, where he would always find some way to get mad. You might say the Gregory feeling, you know, I need to play with anger.
Better when
you know,
he's mad.
However you have to do that, you don't believe that this team is 4-4. You have to know, you have to treat them like they're 8-0. So defy your eyes.
Well, there you have it from a 3-time Super Bowl champ. I think the Cowboys definitely need to listen to you because I am smelling, hopefully, a Super Bowl this season. Back to you guys.
Now, the last time the Cowboys actually defeated the Denver Broncos, they actually won the Super Bowl that year in 1995. Let's go back out to AT&T Stadium and meet up with Nick Eatman, who is with Stephen Jones.
Thanks, guys. I'm here as always with Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. The Cowboys are rolling right now. 6 in a row, but this, every game's a new game. Denver comes in here. What kind of worries you the most about a Broncos team that comes in 4-4?
Well, first of all, Vic Fangio is one of the great defensive minds in the league. He's always got a great game plan put together, gets some of the best offenses in the league. So, what they'll throw at us will be challenging. They got some real talent on that side of the ball. And then offensively, of course, Teddy Bridgewater, all he does is make some things happen. So he'll be a challenge as well. As you said, they pay their guys too. There's no such thing as in the NFL of getting through one. We got our hands full today, and hopefully we'll keep the momentum going.
Your feelings weren't hurt when they traded away Von Miller this week, was it?
Well, he's right there from A&M, one of the good men, to play college football in Texas, and certainly doesn't hurt our feelings that he went on to the Rams. Hopefully at some point we'll see him, but certainly doesn't hurt our feelings. He's not going to be out there today.
The trade deadline, like we said, it came and went for this team, and you didn't do anything. You've talked all about the fact that you're getting guys back, and so it's almost, they're not like new players, but they're just guys that you're adding to your team. How excited are you that you've had the hot start like you have, and you're still going to get even better with more players?
Well, that's a huge plus, and we have several guys over there on the designated to return list. Guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, Neville Gallimore, Michael Gallup, just to name a few.
Yeah.
Who, if you'd have told me we weren't going to be having those guys when the season started,
right,
I'd probably be in a dark room in depression. But anyway, it is good to have them certainly coming back. We've had a bunch of young guys step up and play well in their absence. Can't say enough about Ced Wilson, what he did last week, throwing the ball as well as catching the ball. But anyway, our guys are just doing a good job out there, but it'll also be nice to know we got some reinforcements coming.
One of those guys is Terrence Steele. He's played a lot on the right side. You're moving him now to the left side with Tyron Smith out. How do you think he'll do over there? And of course, you have Lyle on the right side there at tackle.
Well, these guys have just answered the bell. Obviously, Lyle's right at home at right tackle, and certainly Steele got a lot of work in the training camp at that left tackle spot, and just seems like everything you ask him to do, he steps up, and all he does is get better. They had a great week of practice, and feel like they should play well.
Micah Parsons didn't make the calls last week. Looks like Jaron Kearse does that. Now all Parsons does is just go make plays. Is that kind of what you like for him to do, just go hunt the ball?
Well, that's it. I mean, he's so diverse, and certainly we got Dan Quinn's doing a great job, that staff, of utilizing his talents. I mean, I don't think the offense ever knows exactly where he's coming from, when he's coming, and then at times he's running sideline to sideline and making plays, and certainly can make plays in coverage. So, he's just a unique player to have on your team, and so far our staff's doing a great job at utilizing him.
I know your favorite team on Saturday got a big win for you yesterday. I'm sure you're ready to get one on Sunday as well.
Absolutely. Go Hogs.
All right, thanks. That's Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. Kyle, we'll throw it back to you.
Thanks so much, Nick. We're wrapping things up here on Cowboys Pregame Live, and we can't do that without going through our keys to the game. How did the Cowboys get their first win over the Broncos since '95?
Simple but short. D-line, get after Teddy Bridgewater, make life hard for him in the pocket. He'll end up throwing a couple interceptions to the secondary. We walk away with a dub. Simple as that.
We have to establish a running game. We need these boys to get going on the ground. I need Zeke and I need Pollard. Both of y'all, I need y'all to have at least 75 yards each.
In '95, Coach Johnson told us when we won that Super Bowl, you're bigger, you're better, do your job.
Okay. And that's exactly what the Cowboys are going to try and do today against the Denver Broncos. It's a noon kickoff on Fox. Cowboys and Broncos. It is week 9 of the NFL season. That does it for us here on Pregame Live. Tune in to the 14th all-time meeting. But for Nate, for Isaiah, for Barry, for Britt, for Nick Eatman and Rob Phillips, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll see you after on DallasCowboys.com.